Hello Internet, welcome to this week's video update. A little bit different things going on this week as we've had some technical issues. However, we are going to talk about the intake and some of the changes that we've made. What I've done is I've done some AN fittings. I've tapped some of these directly into the manifold. Then I ran my hard line and then just joined the hose together. What's been bothering me is how much extra hose this has given me, and also the potential for this breaking from stress of vibration of the motor. Now, typically our vibration would be this way, and so there's potential for this to be a problem. Since doing all this work was supposed to fix problems, I don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to secure this and do a little bit of redesign and clean this up, and also shorten this hose at the same time. And this hose actually runs under the coil packs and then out over here. And because of how close this clearance is between the fitting and the coil pack cover, I can't just put this fitting on it. So let's pull this off real quick. Let's go over to our workbench. Now what I have here is a spare manifold. This is actually what came off of the 1G Talon of mine after we converted it from the 1.8 to the 2.0 non-turbo. On the Eclipse, this port right here has actually been pulled out and tapped for an MPT thread, and a fitting just like this has been put in. I say just like this. This is a -6, this is a -4. So it looks a little bit more like that. And then our result, as you saw, was a connection that looks like this. Now what we want to do is we want to do a bracket right here to secure this so that it just doesn't move. I've purchased a couple of different fittings to see what might work best. Originally I thought something, perhaps a right angle adapter would help this. Like that. But I really wasn't impressed. As you can see, there is a large gap between here and the hose. Also, I mean, you're not really supposed to put a bracket right there on something like that. The bulkhead fittings have special provisions for additional nuts. So in this case, our bracket would go hopefully right there. After playing with this for a while, a couple thoughts came to mind. One of them was, if my connection is here, I have the ability to come out and over, kind of like this. Do I want to then join to a 90-degree like that? And if so, how would I connect this to the rest of the system? This would require another 90-degree. It's kind of wasteful, a little inefficient. I wasn't too excited about it. What I ended up thinking would be best would be to do a fitting like this, about right here, with the bracket attaching to these 2 points. This keeps it a solid point here, allows me to keep my noise reducer in the wire harness, and it leaves me with a short run of hardline here, and then an easily accessible port for my braided line here. And I could either use a straight fitting on the hose if I wanted to, or I could also use a right angle. I could use a 45 degree if I wanted to, whatever made sense. Probably not going to use one of these guys because that would just kind of be backwards. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so making a bracket for something like this, what I've learned from other shops and other YouTubers, I'll call out Project Binky specifically, is to start with a template. I'm using a regular piece of index card, and basically what I've done is I've gone through and I've basically just cut up some strips that have a generic size, probably a little bit too big. Always better to go big than to go too small. Cut the strip and eventually trim off the excess, come over here with another strip, and then come out here with another strip. What I ended up with was something that looks like this. You can tell it's a couple strips folded over each other. It's kind of like bracket origami over here. The idea is that the bracket will fit like this. And so using the screws here or the bolts here, we can kind of do a mock-up of what we should have. Then I will need to come back around with a new piece and connect here, leaving this port free. Or if I wanted to, I could flip this fitting around completely and bring the hose in from this side, basically looking something like that. Either one of these would be acceptable. With the template looking pretty good, looking complete, all I have to do now is flatten it back out like so and trace it out on a piece of scrap metal. These are 16 gauge sheets of mild steel from one of our favorite hardware stores. And basically, all I'm going to do is try to make the most out of the material and not waste it. I'll go through and draw out the template I have. So that is about it for this video. Once we have everything connected over here, I'm pretty pleased with how things came out. The bracket looks pretty good, the routing looks okay, and now I'm able to clearly get to my remote sensor mount without having to put my cables into a bind. If you liked this video or found it helpful, make sure to give it a like. Until next time, keep boosting.